Spring break usually lines up in the wrong place so that all the students go home and a lot of people are gone. And this year we're all here, and I'm really glad. It's like a big gift for me because this is something like I have looked forward to going through these days, meditating on the Lord's Passion with all of you. And I want to encourage you, like these are the days when the church celebrates the great mystery, like the overwhelming mystery of God's love for the world on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So these are the things that change the world, that change the direction of the world, like has altered the destiny of all of humanity. And we're not just remembering those things, but we're encountering those things. We're entering into them. And they're present again. So because of that, like, expect a lot from what the Lord will do in these next 3 days. Like, this is where his love and his grace is unleashed, and it's for you. What we read in the gospel today, this is the last sign that Jesus does for his disciples before he will give himself over to death on the cross. And it's interesting that the last sign that he gives is not a miracle, it's not a healing, it's not mastery over nature, it's not some sort of display of power, but he washes the feet of his apostles. Jesus does a slave's service for his apostles. This is like his last great act before he dies on the cross. And in the gospel, everything's going pretty smoothly until he comes to Peter. And Peter has all this resistance. And he says, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" And you can imagine him as the Lord has gone down the line and washed the other apostles' feet. I think he says this because maybe he thinks Jesus doesn't realize whose feet he's washing. Peter is messed up in big ways already. And so when it comes to him, like feeling so little, he says, it's me, and maybe you should skip me. And maybe it's not even Jesus. Maybe if you knew it was me, you would skip me. There might even be a request. Please don't wash my feet. So he says, "Master, will you wash my feet?" And Jesus says, "Yes, I am going to." And then he protests so strongly. He says, like, "You will never wash my feet. Please do not." For him, it's hard to endure what Jesus is doing for him. If Jesus stays above Peter, then he's okay. But when Jesus has descended below Peter, then all of his sins and all of his unworthiness is right before him, and he is so embarrassed. And he resists a little bit like John the Baptist when Jesus was baptized. When Jesus comes for baptism, and John the Baptist says, "You should baptize me, not me baptize you." And Jesus says, "Just do it." St. Peter is feeling the same thing, like this is all backwards. This is all upside down. What's in his heart is like, "Jesus, you're doing what I think you should not. And you're doing what I don't want you to do, especially because what you are doing is unworthy of you. I don't want you to do this for me. I don't want my need to be so great that you have to do something so low." What is Jesus doing as he washes the apostles' feet? Why is this so difficult for Peter? Adam and Eve in Genesis, Adam and Eve in the very beginning, they grasped at divinity, something that did not belong to them. They tried to go above where they were. They grasped at divinity and sinned. Jesus, however, divests himself. He takes off his garments, his divinity. He empties himself and lowers himself so far that he kneels before us sinners. Like this is what's going on in the gospel. Jesus is kneeling in front of St. Peter. By sin, humanity fell from God's gifts. And from that moment, humanity fell into a free fall, just plummeting toward nothingness. And what Jesus does as he lowers himself is he dives lower and lower and faster so that he can overtake us in our plunge, so that he can catch us. But he has to get under us. He has to go below us. And when he reaches the point where he is kneeling beneath us, then he serves us. This is God serving rebellious, arrogant, ridiculous creatures. He washes our feet and bathes us in undeserved and terribly embarrassing love and mercy. And he doesn't just wash St. Peter's feet, he washes Judas's feet also. How hard this love is to receive. It doesn't make sense, and everything is upside down from how it should be. With Jesus kneeling down in front of me, where I should be, I want to say, Jesus, do not soil your glory by coming down to the ugly place where I have gone. Or I want to apologize. Jesus, I'm sorry that to rescue me, you had to see all of this. Or maybe if I can speak freely, I would just say, I am so embarrassed, and you should just go, and then I'll feel better. Jesus does this because we still do not understand. After following him through his ministry and his preaching and his miracles, we still say, all of this is upside down and you shouldn't be where you are, Jesus. What he does when washing their feet is teaching them what is happening on the cross. So we end up saying like the same things to Jesus on the cross. Like, please come down, Jesus. Please, maybe just a drop of blood, but stop the pouring. Please, you have to go so far for me. But we end up not understanding who God is and what love is. Because to love is to pour oneself out for the other, even if there is nothing left for me in the end. The cross that is so embarrassing, so humiliating, the cross is glory. Jesus kneeling before the apostles and washing their feet, in his humility, he is the master. He reveals his glory and divinity. Humility is divine. God is being himself, and we just have no idea who the God of love is. So then, after a little argument, St. Peter gives in. What made him give in and allow the Lord to wash his feet? Jesus says, if I do not wash your feet, you will have no inheritance with me. You will be separated from me. And St. Peter, he makes a lot of mistakes, and he will make more after this. But he loves Jesus, and he will suffer anything to avoid being separated from Jesus. So when Jesus says, if I don't wash you, then we're pushed apart. Then St. Peter says, then wash all of me, not just my feet. I'll go through any embarrassment, any kind of suffering. It's the love that he has for Jesus that allows him to overcome himself. And what is in St. Peter's acceptance? What does he do when he allows Jesus to wash his feet? It's simply obedience. He decides, I will not tell God what to do. I will accept God as he comes to me. I will let myself be led, and I will not make my own way. Very important, as he is obedient to Jesus, he does this without understanding everything, maybe understanding nothing. He says yes to Jesus without making himself the judge of what it means to follow Jesus or what is appropriate or what is right. He gives Jesus free rein. His obedience, finally, St. Peter submits to the love of God.